Alright, this is how you can create custom video game posters for any video game you want. Here I start with God of War, but I'm going to change this one to Call of Duty Modern Warfare. So if you do want a God of War poster, I already have it downloaded. You can change the photo if you want, but everything else is kind of, already set up like that. And then here I just go to the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Wikipedia page. Then I start off by just changing the publishing date. So here, this one came out in November 2009. That's crazy. That's a hell of a long time ago. And then God of War, of course, came out at a different time. So I just, I'm resizing it so it looks good. You got to always get it centered up. This one also looks kind of weird because you want your title to be bigger than your date. And I mean, here, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. You can kind of do the title however you want, maybe make it look a little smaller or whatever. But I think this one looks pretty good. Then you're just going to go for the director. Most video games, I'm pretty sure, have a director. They might have two, so I mean, do whatever you want with that. But here I got put in my boy Jason West. Don't know who that is, but I put him in here. And then what I do next is I'm looking for like the developer or the genre that it's in. This one's a first-person shooter. I mean, I feel like that's the main thing that Call of Duty is. So I just go to first-person shooter, and then I get rid of action adventure RPG. You can kind of put whatever you want here, but I would just say grab something that kind of captures the essence of the whole title. I mean, I think first-person shooter for Call of Duty is pretty much the only thing. And then last but not least, you just go and you find the developer, which in this case is Infinity Ward. And just when you are doing this copy and pasting stuff, it might not look the best, but I mean, I think this turned out pretty good in my opinion. And then last but not least, you're just going to, look up your thing and then look for a good still image to come from the actual thing. And first off, I found this pretty good image that I think I haven't actually played Modern Warfare 2, but I think this kind of looks pretty good. And then you just upload it, and then once it's actually done uploading, you just drag it in, and you can on Canva you can drag and drop, and then it'll just like perfectly work. So here you can drag and drop, and it'll just replace that image with the same cropping, and then you can actually just like edit it so it looks good. And I think here that looks pretty fine. So once you're done with this, you can just download the image, and then you're basically done with the whole thing. I mean, this came out pretty well, and I think overall this was a very solid poster. And then here's the tutorial if you want to do the 11 by 17 ones. These are a little bit bigger and I think look a little bit better, and you just kind of take the cover. I do have the little template that you have to use, but there's not really much of a template. You just kind of drag and drop photos in. But here I'm just looking for the Call of Duty cover. I don't know if this is actually the Call of Duty cover, but I mean, I took this one. I thought this one looked pretty good. And then you're just going to drag and drop it to this Adobe one. Like I said, I have the link in the description for that. It's 11 by 17 one. And then you basically just drag and drop, and then you just kind of fit it to make it look good. Make sure you are getting large images, so stuff that's over 1,000 by 1,000, I'd say. And just make sure it doesn't look blurry, like when you're actually downloading the photo. I mean, you'll see here if it does look blurry. This one looks pretty good in my opinion. I don't know if this is the actual cover, but I think this one looks solid either way. So I think this one turned out as pretty good. And then what I did was I just did another one just to get the actual like Call of Duty little like this one, the actual Call of Duty cover. But these ones are like a little bit blurry. Like I said, make sure to get one that is a large size. I ended up choosing this one. I think this is the actual cover of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Just download it. It actually downloaded as a web page, so it doesn't like work perfectly. But what you can do when you have like something like a web page is you can actually convert it into just a JPEG on Mac. I'm pretty sure you can also do this on any other computer, but I know you can definitely do it on Mac because I do it right here. And then just like if this is something that you really like want, I think you should do this, and then you just convert it from a web page to you export it as a JPEG instead, and then it works, and it's pretty cool. And then at this point, you can just drag that JPEG into your actual Adobe Express thing, and then make it look good. In this case, it actually was like a little bit too big, as you can see clearly here. It's like a little bit too big. Like the stretch of the Modern Warfare thing is just like it literally barely goes outside of the boundaries. And then, I mean, it's kind of like a personal thing, but in my case, I just like shrunk it down so then you can just cut off the white part, because with all these FedEx posters, they do like come with a little outline, so not everything on the actual poster is going to be there. I mean, they just shrink it down a little bit, so there's a little bit extra. But basically what you're going to want to do is just, make it a little bit smaller so it fits. And then there's going to be a little white part, and then you're just going to have to cut that out on your own, which I think is pretty easy in my opinion. So just do that, and then it should be all good. It's just a little bit extra to cut out, just a little bit extra work, but I think you have to cut out stuff no matter what if you don't want any like borders. So I think it's definitely worth the wait. First thing you're going to do after that is print out your stuff, and then you're going to go to FedEx. I have the link in the description, and then the first thing you're going to do there is use that Rakuten link. Get 2.5% cash back at FedEx office and $30 cash back after your first purchase of $30 or more, and you'll also give $30 back to me. So it definitely helps out the channel, and if you just want to support me keeping creating these template videos, it definitely helps. That Rakuten link is also in the description. Then you're going to go click upload file, and then it's going to take a little bit like normal. But then once you're there, you can drag your files in. Here, just dragging in the 8.5 by 11 one. I would just suggest, if you're going to want like a lot of posters, definitely go for these 8.5 by 11 ones. A little bit cheaper, also a little bit smaller. But when you're going for these, always go for the 80-pound laser print. Looks so much better in my opinion. And you can kind of just experiment with any of these things. But I always go for the 80-pound one because it's a lot thicker. These colors, if you want to do a cool color, you can make the background transparent on these actual posters, I'm pretty sure. So if you want to do that, and you can print on like a cool color. But I wouldn't suggest doing that. I've never done that. But yeah, each one is $1.25, so definitely print these out. These do look pretty good, even the 8.5 by 11 ones. And then you're just going to go back to FedEx office. Basically, just repeat the same steps. Go click upload file, and then you can upload your 11 by 17 one. This one is a little bit different step because you have to change a little thing. The 8.5 by 11 is the default version, but yeah, it always takes a little bit to upload, which kind of is a problem with FedEx in my opinion. Just the whole site is really laggy and slow a lot of times, and I think there have been some problems with 11 by 17 ones recently, so I'm not really sure. It's kind of 50-50 for me. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, these take a really long time to print. And then you're going to go to the product print properties, change that from 8.5 by 11 to 11 by 17. And once this thing loads, you can clearly see that there is a little bit of a boundary at the bottom where you're going to have to cut that out. Then you go to 80 pounds, and then you basically can print out. These ones are a little bit more expensive, but if you're just trying to get a couple of posters in your room instead of a ton, I definitely would suggest going with the larger ones, just because in my opinion they look a lot better. And then once you're here, you're basically done, and you can proceed to checkout. Like I said before, the 11 by 17 one really wasn't working with me here, so I couldn't actually proceed to checkout. But once you're going to do it there, I would just pick it up because that's going to be a lot cheaper. Just go with the closest one to you, anything that you can basically pick it up at, and then you're basically done. And definitely use the Rakuten link. It supports me. And if you like these videos, please subscribe because I got a ton more coming.